Hello guys, welcome back to Big Name Media. Welcome back to Big Name Media. Today we're doing something a bit different, something a bit fun, something that I personally enjoy. We'll be talking about football, discussing everything that's happened in the past European season. You know, the curtain has been thrown down now on the past European season. The Champions League final took place last week. We'll be discussing a few things that's happened throughout the season. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Hi, Colonel. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode. This is Total Football and also
Big
Big
Name
Name
Media
Media
in collaboration.
in collaboration. This is my first episode. This is Colonel's 100th episode for the year. So basically, Colonel, what are your thoughts on the past European Champions League season?
Yeah,
Do you think PSG were worthy winners?
yeah. It's hard to say they are worthy winners, but I think they had a great season. Honestly, they had a great
Mm.
season, but
Triple
you know,
winning season.
treble winning season. I was a bit disappointed how we lost against Inter
Inter.
Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a bit upset, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of bias in that. Because I had high hopes, I wanted to win the champ. I want we to win the Champions League this past season. I thought this was our window basically because we've been it's been quite some time.
Yeah.
We've won the competition in 2015,
Yeah.
2015 last, and I wanted us to win it this year. And the window was perfect for us to win it this season because Madrid wasn't performing as they should.
100%.
You know, Man City wasn't at the level we know they can be. Bayern was far from where we know they can be. So this was our window basically. I wanted us to win it this season
Mm.
because next season is gonna be a lot tougher. And I didn't expect Liverpool to go out. You
So early.
understand? So early.
Mm.
Because that was probably the only team that I look at and say, oh, this is going to be our
Our
competition.
challenges.
Yeah, this is going to be our
Mm.
challenge.
100%.
This is going to be tough. But it didn't happen how I thought it's gonna happen. But yeah, we go next season again, and next season the thing is Madrid is gonna be stronger. City is gonna be better.
Mm.
Liverpool is gonna be better again. A lot of teams will improve next season, and that's what gonna make next season so a lot tougher in terms of us to win it next season. So yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully we can get it together next season. I'm not sure signing wise, but I think we lost a lot when we lost our left back and right back in Jules Koundé. We lost a lot, and they made us a bit weaker when we lost them,
Mm.
basically, in my opinion. Yeah, but other than that, I don't have any complaints. At the start of the current season, there was
A lot of expectation
expectations.
on your team to go
Yes,
and win
yes,
La
yes,
Liga,
yes.
to go and win Champions League.
Definitely, definitely. So we overachieved basically, with a lot of kids.
Yeah.
You know, our team is full of children, man. We overachieved basically, but I'm proud actually. I'm proud is probably an understatement. They exceeded my expectation regarding this current season. So yeah, that's how I see things. But yeah, but PSG worry they deserve the competition. If you take the bias side out of it, I don't want to take anything away from them. They've been playing a brand of football which
That is unknown. It's not just systematic like Pep Guardiola.
yes, 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 and it's a quality brand of football,
Yeah,
man, that they are
100%. It's
currently
very
playing.
attractive from
Mm,
back to front. It's
Definitely.
absolutely amazing because I mean, one of the PSG, the past was like the highlight of the Champions League. For me, like those two legs were, yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and they have wonderful attacking players. They have Dembele. They have this new kid that's dribbles. What's his name?
Yeah,
Dowie.
there's
Dowie. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly, but he's been sensational. They have Bakula. That's on the
yeah,
bench. They have Kolomumani. They have
yeah,
the Georgian. What's his
yes,
name? Kolosevski.
yes, yes,
Something like
yes. They
that. I
have
don't
Ramos
know.
also from Portugal.
They have They have Ramos as well.
They've got
People that's
a lot.
not even been
But
starting.
the thing is, for me, they midfield completely dominated.
Coutinho.
Yeah, Whew, class.
Oh,
And Xiao Neves also, man,
oh
bro.
my.
That man was just on a different level.
Oh my days, that Vitinha, my guy. Ooh. Oh, he can play. I
Yeah,
always
he
knew
can
he could play,
play.
but
But
this season,
the thing is, for me, I'm surprised he didn't do as well as he did at Wolves because he was at
nah.
Wolves the
Yeah,
previous
yeah, yeah,
season,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and now suddenly he's like a superstar.
He's on a different
He's
level.
on a different level.
I think it's probably the managerial as well. We have to give Luis Enrique credit as
Hundred
well. You
percent.
know, he came in and he changed the direction of the team. I remember I saw a clip. I think it was last year. I'm not sure where
Yeah.
he was speaking to Mbappe and basically saying to him, "Listen, yeah, you have to run.
You have to lead from the front.
Yeah, you have to
You
lead."
you
You
need to
did
put
you
in
show that
effort.
video?
I saw that video.
And that was for me something else. You know, you're
Yeah.
going to the superstar of the team, the guy on the biggest wage, the guy have been costing PSG a lot of money in
100%.
bonuses. You went to him and tell him at straight in his face, listen, you need to do this and this and this for us in order for us to get to this. You know, that
100%.
was something else.
Because for me, PSG's ultimate goal was to win their first Champions League.
That was the
That's why they
goal.
spent all the money on Sergio Ramos, on Lionel Messi, on Neymar Jr. because they really wanted
They wanted the
their
Champions League.
Champions League.
Definitely, this was the competition they wanted. And do you know what, Shatner? What baffles me a bit is, you know, you could have top quality players in your lineup. You could, you know, they had Messi, they had Neymar, they had Mbappe, and you can't say Messi wasn't Messi because he went on to win the World Cup
100%.
during that time.
100%.
So basically, if the chemistry is not right, you know, if the team structure and vision is not right, you know, you're not gonna achieve anything. You know, that's what PSG taught me. You know, you can have all the players, you can assemble them, but if there's not a groundwork or framework that you guys go on, and everyone don't understand their role properly, it's not gonna click.
That's not gonna work.
It's not gonna click. So congratulations to PSG on winning
Yeah,
the
100%.
Champions League. You know, if I take off my bias cap, well deserved. But if I have my Barcelona cap on, that's bias.
Uh,
You know, I feel a bit. I feel some type of way.
you feel as though you should have been in the final. It would have been a much more entertaining. Like if that was the final,
Definitely,
it would have been amazing.
definitely. You know, and I was a bit disappointed after the game against Inter Milan. I watched it. You know, there was moments where I went out of the room and I didn't want it to look anymore. But then this kid he was doing the utmost.
Yeah,
You know, to pull us back in this game. You know, he was
100%.
taking me back a bit and he was pulling us back, and they came back and he was pulling us back again. It was like that back and forth. And one thing I was a bit disappointed in certain players, how we played defensively, you know, because I'm a huge fan of Ronald Araujo.
Yeah,
He's one of my favorite players, but he was very disappointing that day for me personally. And I thought myself, nah, man, why should I be this angry about it? You know,
yeah,
they gave us, the
yeah,
squad,
yeah.
they took me to a place this season that I've never been in quite some time to that place.
You haven't felt that
I,
same
I,
joy
I haven't felt that
when you're
same joy
watching the
since
games.
since Leo, Neymar, and
Imagine.
all.
Yeah,
Yes, I haven't felt that joy, and they took me to that place on a couple of occasions this season. You know, in our classical, and you know, you have this young cocky kid. A lot of people
Lamine
say he's
Yamal
cocky,
dunking on
but
Mbappe's
yeah,
head.
yeah. A lot of people say the guy is cocky, but man, oh,
Yeah,
he can play.
he can play.
He can play,
The
man.
thing is, what I like about him is he can talk the talk, but he can also deliver.
Definitely.
You
And I
know?
think what's interesting is I read something where people say, you know, Ronaldo's confidence, Messi's ability. But the thing with him that struck me the most is, you know, he mentioned something where he said his friends
Yeah,
send him these stuff.
yeah,
They send him the articles.
yeah,
They send him this, that player said this, that
yeah,
player,
yeah.
and that fueled him. But this kid is something different, man. He's just different. And I don't want to glaze him too much, but man, he can play. He can play honestly. And Ronaldo said something as well interesting yesterday in his press conference. He said basically that people need to,
Yeah, you need to give him some space. He's still a young
yeah.
kid. He still needs to grow and develop out. So that.
But he's built different. I don't think he needs that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he needs that because it seems like he's loving for these moments, you know, for the media and you know rebuttals and them saying this and him
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that back and the players and stuff. So yeah, chat seeing that you are a very staunch Liverpool supporter. I mean, you guys won the Premier League. A lot of people say they don't care. They didn't care that Liverpool won the season.
They never
Did
gave
you
away Liverpool wins the season.
did you show that online? A
I
lot of
did.
people said
The,
like Liverpool won the league, but no one
but
cares.
no one cares.
And
Literally.
I was like, yo, yeah. But what I wanted to ask you, what do you think? Are you happy with how things pan out for you guys this season? I know the Champions League, the knock that you guys got, and
Mm.
obviously, you know, anticipated you guys are going far and maybe win the competition. But overall, what's your opinion on what? on how things transpired for you guys
How
this
things
season.
transpire. All
Mm.
right, for me, at the start of the season, I didn't know who Honest Slot was, to be honest with you. Never heard of him, never even read about him in an article, or even seen this guy's face, to be honest with you. So for me, when Honest Slot came in, I read the articles online, watched the YouTube videos on who he is, how he plays. And for me, I was thinking this would be another transition period, to be honest with you. What gave me that impression was the mere fact that he said the squad was good enough, which for me, in our last season with Jurgen Klopp,
Yes,
I felt like we ran out of gas.
yes,
Like the
yes, yes,
guys, the legs was going. It gave me flashbacks of the year after we won the trophy,
yes,
and
yes,
when Fabinho's legs went, when Henderson legs went, when we sold Genie. It just felt like the team was just extremely tired or overworked. And the thing is, in Klopp's last season, we were going for the quadruple.
yes,
The
yes,
thing is, now with the quadruple, only Liverpool. Only Liverpool is expected to win the quadruple every single season. That for me baffles me because at the beginning of this season as
yes,
well,
yes,
when we
yes.
were in all four competition, everybody was talking, oh quadruple, oh quadruple, oh in the Carabao Cup final against Newcastle, they're facing against PSG, they should be able to win. Also the FA Cup, we lost there as well, and the Premier League, we were still quite close in title race there with Arsenal.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So for me, I feel like every season, whenever we get to the latter stages, Jan, Feb, everybody starts talking Liverpool quadruple, and I feel like the expectations when it comes to a Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, they aren't the same. So for me, how the season went, I am happy. I am happy we won the Premier League. You
Oh,
know,
that's good.
that's something every player strives for, to win the league, because that shows how consistent you are from the beginning to the end.
Yes, yes,
I'm also really happy that we won it early, so the
yes,
guys
yes.
could go on holiday and
Mm.
relax and just be ready for this coming season. Another thing why I'm saying I didn't expect us to win the Premier League was the mere fact we only brought in one signing,
Yes, yes, yes,
Federico Chiesa, for about 14 mil. And we didn't know what we were getting because he was injured a lot in his
yes,
previous
yes,
club.
yes.
He was hot and cold. But before that, when he was at the Euros, the Euro 2020s, man was on fire. But that was 5 years ago.
Yes, yes,
That's not
yes,
the player he is today.
yes, definitely, yeah.
And Slot barely used him. And there's
Mm.
now talks that they're gonna look to profit off from him, basically sell him. So for
Mm.
me, he was going into the same squad that Klopp went in,
Yes,
but that team ran out of gas at the end.
I completely understand,
So
yeah.
for me, I'm extremely happy we won the Premier League. His playing style versus Klopp is completely different. The
Yes, yes,
Klopp was like gun ho, like we're gonna go for it now, back to front football. As soon as Allison catches the ball from the corner kick, Salah, Diaz, Gakpo,
you guys go.
they running. But the Slot is like, okay, relax. Us having the ball is better than them having the
Yes,
ball.
yes, yes, yes.
That was completely different because we won a lot of games 1-0, 2-0. And for me, I was like, what am I watching here? I'm used to a 3-4, 5-3, a
Yeah,
six
yeah, yeah.
five. like a tennis match
Decision
type of thing,
making,
like a
yeah.
basketball, like we're going
Yes,
back front. Like, yeah. So for me, it was a completely different, how can I say, adjustment. Because at the beginning, it felt very like, yo, this is boring, my bro. Winning the game, winning 1-0, 2-0, but it's like, we just keep in
you were
position.
accustomed to that, obviously, that luxury,
100%.
entertainment and all that, yeah. And
100%.
now, as a fan, looking at this team, it's still successful, but
It's not
it's
the
not soft
same.
on the eye,
It's
but
not the
yeah,
same. 100%.
yes,
It was
yes,
very structured, very like, okay, Trent, you're staying back here. Okay,
yes, yes,
Robertson, you also just chilling back a bit. Or if we go, for me, this season with Slot, I felt a lot more comfortable winning the game 1-0 than I
okay,
did with Klopp. Because with Klopp, I felt like, oh, we might drop points here.
yes,
It's
yes,
the
yes, yes,
92nd minute. They're having a last corner kick. For me, I've seen so many times we draw 1-1, 2-2, or we just lose that points we had in our hands.
yes, yes, yes.
But this season, once I went to 1-0, I was like, okay, I'm confident. We
You
can
know everything
defend.
is gonna be
We can
rock
be
solid.
structured.
Mm.
We can, against whoever, we will win the 3 points. But the whole playing style is completely different. But for me, as a Liverpool fan, obviously, love the fact that we won the Premier League. We just need to do one more just to be the undisputed number one.
Undisputed number one.
100%.
And the other thing is that I want to touch on basically is I know we're gonna go there, later on, in the discussion regarding the Ballon d'Or and who we think deserve the Ballon d'Or. But how do you put Mo Salah's season into perspective?
I, for one, didn't expect it.
Nah?
I did not expect him to basically reach his heights that he got in our first season with us. Because our first season with us in 17-18 season, he was
He
unplayable.
was through the
He
roof.
was absolutely unplayable. And that guy, but the thing is, then no one knew about him. No
Yes,
one
yeah.
knew who Mo Salah was. And for him to do it 5 years later again, show, hey, I'm still Mo Salah. Because I mean, the guy has 44 goals and assists, 47 goals and assists this past season. That's basically 10 more than Harry Kane is, and
You
he's
understand?
playing in a Farmers League.
You understand?
Yeah, yeah, and the same as the Premier League is the most
It's
competitive
the
league.
most competitive league, yeah. Generally, that's the
That's
view
that's the
everyone have,
view,
yeah.
100%.
And the thing with Mo, that surprised me, man. He gets slept on a lot. He
Yeah,
don't get the necessary attention of the other players that he rightfully deserves.
yeah,
Mo he's a legend now. He cemented himself as a legend. But you know what? I'm not. I wouldn't say scared of, but in future debates and discussion, I feel his name should be mentioned a lot because he's reaching now to a point where you got to talk to him in a sense like where is he sitting?
in the
What
old times,
in the
in the
old
old
times,
time Premier
yeah,
League team. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Where is he
100%.
sitting now? You can't be talking about Ronaldo now as coming from nostalgia. You're a Man United supporter. You're talking about those few seasons that he had for the club,
Yeah,
and the right inside.
yeah.
You have to. He's not.
He's not an out and out striker.
That's the
He's
thing.
not Kylian Mbappe, Harry Kane. He's not Alexander Isak, Lewandowski. He's a winger.
That's the thing. So
Yeah,
people need to start putting respect on his name. When the Cristiano Ronaldos of the worlds
yeah.
and Thierry Henry's comes up and wherever they put in those conversations, people need to start mentioning Mo in that bracket. And I'm dead honest about that. About this, I'm dead honest about it. We need to start normalizing that Mo Salah is in that bracket now.
Mm.
For me personally, I don't know how you feel about it.
I definitely feel the same.
You
Definitely
understand?
because there's a lot of debate going on that Henry was better than Mo Salah,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and the whole argument was the mere fact Henry won 2 Premier Leagues. Now Salah has equaled that. And the thing is, if Salah's good, because we have Salah for another 2 years at least, so I'm hoping he can get in those top three all-time Premier League goal scorers.
And won another golden boot. I think that would,
That would cement
yeah.
legendary.
It doesn't matter if he doesn't win another prem,
Yeah,
but if he gets another golden boot
hundred
next
percent.
season or PFA Player of the Season or what, which he's probably gonna gun for again. You know, we this is a serious conversation actually. No lies about it. It's the same with KDB, with
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Mm.
You know, I feel for me, I didn't watch Steven Gerrard's entire career or Frank Lampard's entire career. I watched him at middle later part
Mm.
around that time, yeah, around 2009 or so,
Mm.
you know. And the same with Gerrard. Scholes, I didn't watch much of Scholes, but it's always footage to go back on, and you would see certain stuff they have done, throughout their careers and certain clips, highlight clips. But it's not much you can take out of that clips in order to form more opinion about a certain
And how,
player,
and how and
you
how he
know.
plays week in and week
Yes,
out. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's not much to go on. But for me personally, Kevin De Bruyne is in that conversation. No question about. You're not gonna tell me otherwise. You're not gonna convince me
He is
otherwise.
absolute
I
class.
haven't seen a better passer of the football than Kevin De Bruyne.
But
The balls that Kevin De Bruyne, balls that he put in there for Leroy Sané and them on a regular basis, my
yeah,
guy. I haven't seen that, honestly. And I love Messi, I love Leo Messi. But I think
yeah.
in terms of passing ability, Kevin Bruyne is probably number one and he's number two in my opinion. Kevin De Bruyne number one and it's Leo Messi in a sense where you chuck the ball to him
Mm.
and you ask him to do something. They could deliver
They could do
easily.
something.
That's
Yeah.
just my opinion on it.
I
And
feel
for
the
me,
same way when my team Liverpool in the past season we were like, okay, we need someone to do something,
yes,
and we depended so heavily on Salah. I mean, the number speaks for himself. He's basically scored all the goals. Um, for me, I feel like in this upcoming season, I think he needs help.
in each help.
He needs help because I mean, for me, Darwin Nunez is inconsistent. I love the man.
No,
I love them. I love his attitude. I love his tenacity. I love his grit. He just plays for the badge. For
I
me, he's
understand.
like a Liverpool player.
Mm.
But as a Liverpool striker, he's just not doing enough. He's not scoring enough. And for me, is he misses simple chances, chances you think you should be able to put
Yes,
away.
yes,
Like nine times out of 10 he's missing, and then one chance he's scoring. But we don't have always that chances to win that big
and
games.
I understand.
You
Yeah.
understand? We're not always dominating. Like a game could be decided on two or three moments,
Yes,
and
yes,
he
yes,
needs to be there to score those moments.
yes,
And for
yes,
me, that's where Salah comes in. In those two or three moments, he's the one that's scoring, assisting, or creating the pass, and just making us, win the game essentially. My point I'm trying to make is for this upcoming season, Liverpool they definitely need someone in the attacking department.
yes, yes, yes.
Someone because for me, Luis Diaz is a very nice player. Nice to look at skills. He's got movement. He's got everything that you want to see, but just not that output.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's what we essentially need is the output.
Basically,
Yeah.
because for me, when I think Luis Diaz, I also think of your club and Rafinha.
Yes.
He's nice to look at, got all the skills, got the pace to beat the defender one on one, all the skills to, but he's also got in product. I mean, he's finished the Champions League with the most goals in the competition.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nee, Rafinha this season, honestly, my hats off to him. My hats off to him. We have exceeded, I think, everyone's expectation. I mean, if you ask
Yeah,
him
because I
now,
mean,
he would
Barca
say,
signed him from Leeds United.
yes, yes,
Leeds that was relegated.
yes,
Barca
yes.
thought, okay, let's give him a try. And look how well that turned out.
Nah, brilliant, honestly. I think he has played, I didn't expect him to do as much as he did. And we needed him. He
Mm,
pitched up when we needed him.
100%.
In close games, he came up with the goals that we needed. And it was nice to see him and how he performed. I was happy for him actually. I was happy for him because, in the summer there was talks about Nico Williams.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he felt a bit slighted by that. He
yeah.
felt a bit slighted, and I think he had a lot to prove. Is something, and genuinely something. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about is Alexander Isak. What do you reckon? People have been talking about him in a very high regard, and
Mm.
I was also thinking about our options going forward. Regarding a solid number nine because
Solid number nine. Yeah,
Lewandowski age
yeah,
wise is not
yeah.
in the top 10. But I mean, going forward in 2 years' time, we need a solid number nine. That we could bring in order to replace
Don't you
Gio.
think? Don't you think there's someone in your academy that could come up?
Maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe, but we need the finished product at
Yeah,
this point.
but now you have to think about your PSR issues and your financial issues
That's the
that
thing.
might be holding you in the club back.
That's the
From
thing.
going out there to buy Alexander Isak or whoever.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So we'll probably have to clear someone in order to do so. But we definitely need a number nine, a quality one to come in. Because goals win football matches.
100%.
So we
Yeah.
need someone that could drive the ship now for 10 or so years, or maybe 5 or 6 years. Give us a good 5 years, in order for us to go forward. Ferran Torres also impressed me the way he played the season off the bench.
Mm.
Always felt that we didn't need him as a signing back, and it cost us a lot of money, which I thought personally he wasn't worth that money,
Mm.
but he's been giving us the business this season. Coming off the bench, in our Ramatadas against Atletico Madrid, he's been coming and doing the most, my guy.
Next section, Colonel, we'll basically be doing a deep dive into your team, Barcelona, and then also doing a deep dive in my team, Liverpool. But first and foremost, we were starting off with Barcelona. We basically looking where areas in our team where we can go on and win the Champions League. Because the Champions League is getting more and more prestigious, more money is being thrown at it, more games, more hype around the Champions League. And basically, we'll start off with your defense, start off with your goalkeepers. So we've got three goalkeepers, Szczesny, Pina, and the Stegen.
Personally, I think Ter Stegen is someone that can still give us a lot.
Mm.
I think he has been giving us a lot in the past. He's been a great goalkeeper for Barcelona. There's been times that our defense wasn't that great, but he have shine. Basically, you've carried us at certain points. I know that sometimes you can't say that perhaps that the goalkeeper carries us, but he has been one of those players. When we didn't have a great defense, he carried us basically. I can't say much about Wojciech Szczesny. He came in this season and he played like his life is dependent on this
Mm.
season. He played like that. And proper number one. That can
So
carry the mental.
who would your ideal signing currently at that point in time? That can come in now, it can slot in, that will understand the Hansi Flick way, the way Barca plays. Who do you think was a good signing in that particular area?
At the moment, there's someone that I can't really pinpoint one goalkeeper now to tell this is the person or this is the player. Obviously you need to be able to play with your feet. That's the one requirement. If you have to put something on your CV, on your resume as a qualification, that's the thing you need.
You need to be able to play with your fins. I see you got four centre backs here.
Sure, this
Or
department,
five. Yeah, five centre backs.
this department I'm happy with. I can't emphasize enough how happy I am with this department. I'm happy with this department. Gerard Piqué, our president, he's a legend.
Mm.
I don't want to throw shade on the man, but if we had our fair share of centre backs that
And
messed up,
wasn't he the guy that said if there's a problem,
he would be the first to
he would
leave.
be the first one to leave?
He overstayed.
But
Yo, that man overstayed. Andrea Christensen, Pau Cabrasi, Inigo Martinez. Oh, emphasize
do you
enough.
did you think
Inigo.
did you think you'll have that much of an impact?
Honestly, I didn't. I'm gonna lie if I say I did.
Yeah,
Honestly, I didn't.
you thought he was just a stopgap, just
Yes,
someone you have
yes. Someone that's gonna play on a rotational basis.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Mm.
But oh my.
And your left and right back options, what do you think on that?
Kunde has been exceeding my expectation this season. I think he's genuinely world class.
Mm.
That's what I
I
think
think
of
he's
him.
right up there in top three right backs.
Top three right backs. Probably this season he will probably be considered the best of the season, the past season. But Jules Kunde has been sensational, absolutely sensational for us. Uh, Alexandro Balde is not the end product, the finished product yet,
Yeah.
but he can become what I think he can become.
Something special.
Yeah, he can
The
become
nice
world
thing about
class.
him is he got age on his side, age
H,
21.
H, and what he gives us on that left hand side is it's something quite nice because he gives us another attacking option because he takes the ball nicely forward. He can dribble and go past players. The only concern I have at the moment is our backups. Hector Ford and Gerard Martin at the moment. I don't want to shade on them; they're still young players, but at the moment they're not giving us what we
you need.
expect them and what we need at a certain time. And the season tends to be so long. You need your entire squad if you want to win, basically.
Mm.
You know, you need your entire squad if you want to win competitions. So Hector Ford and Gerard Martin, maybe a few backups. I would say maybe a few backups. Someone that we can bring in that can maybe play both sides.
Are you looking for more like an experienced backup, like someone from the Premier League that's 30, 31, 32, or you're thinking maybe give another chance for an academy player?
I would say experienced backup, genuinely experienced backup, someone that we can rely on when things are looking we are basically on the back foot,
Yeah.
and you can call up on someone that's more bit of experience, and have been in those situations. Now I would think about maybe experience left back, perhaps, and right back department. I think Ronald Araujo can slot in there if he wants to.
Mm.
I've seen him play in that position with distinction, against top opposition. I remember in those early Clásicos, when we were in that rebuilding phase, he used to slot in there and do a perfect job. I just want to touch on Eric Garcia as well. This season has been he's been quite something as well. He's been slotted in where the team required him to be. He's been a great rotational player for us, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, that's about it regarding
So
my
other than
fullbacks.
that, you're quite happy with your left and in the
Yeah,
right backs.
yeah.
All right, in your midfield department.
Midfield department. Oh, this is probably difficult in a sense where I can't really pinpoint
Yeah.
that will lack something,
Yeah.
you know.
Because when you got Pedri there, you've got Gavi
Oh,
there, you've got
Pedri. Oh,
Frankie de Jong.
when I speak about Pedri, I want to smile. Internally he makes my heart beam.
Mm.
Coffee, what a warrior. Every challenge he goes in 100% reckless, but
He's a bit low scope, they say.
yeah, he's a bit lost scope, but I love him to death, man, because he plays for the badge. He plays for Barcelona. He loves this club.
So overall, in your midfield, quite happy. No
Quite happy.
real investment needed.
No investment needed. Oh, Frankie de Jong is coming to the party right now. Frankie de Jong and Fermin Lopez as well. A nice backup, and Tene Olmo,
Class.
class when he wants to be. I
Yeah,
think
when
when he
he
wants
wants
to
to
be.
be. Okay.
Yeah, at times he doesn't.
So he's
He
a bit
does,
hot and cold,
yeah, he
inconsistent
doesn't
for you.
give us as much as sometimes I want him to.
Yeah.
But he's class, man.
Your attackers,
I,
Rafinha, Enzo Fati is currently on loan, or was on loan at Brighton. Lamine Yamal, Torres, Lewandowski, and Paul Victor.
at the moment, I'm happy with Paul Victor. Let me start with him off. I'm happy with him.
Yeah.
I'm happy with him on a rotational basis in the squad. I think he can offer us a lot in the future. I'm completely happy with him. Maybe next season he can get more opportunities to showcase what he can do. Um, Roberto Lewandowski, he's 36 now. He's turning
36, yeah.
37 this year.
Mm.
He's given us so much. I doubted him when we signed him in the first place, but he's an out and out goal scorer. I think he's probably top five centre forward of his generation.
100%.
Top five.
Yeah.
There's others perhaps, but top five of this generation. Ferran Torres, he's been nothing but special for us when he came on, off the bench. So I'm happy with him. Ansu Fati,
Yeah.
I think it's time we need to let him go now.
Let him go. But he
Yeah.
was such a bright spark when he broke into the team.
Definitely. I didn't know where, in what phase of his career that he went wrong, for him. But I think we need to let him go.
I'm just saying it's all his injuries he sustained.
Probably, when I think his time is done. I
Yeah.
think he needs to go. He needs to go
How much?
elsewhere.
How much you think you can get for him in the current market?
In the current market, I think at best, we can get about at best. I think we can get about 10 to 15 million for him.
I
I
was
think.
thinking the 10,
Is
10
it?
mil, 10 mil range,
Yeah, I think
8 mil
I think it
range.
best. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it best because
Based on his lack of game time, the amount of injuries he's had, and just
yeah,
he looks like a player that's lacking in confidence.
definitely. And Rafinha, what can I talk about? Jogo Bonito. He's been top of the range for us. He's been important. He's been sound. He's been getting the goals when we
Yeah.
needed him to get. He's proven, and if he showed that he is the player that he personally thinks he is. It doesn't matter what other people say about him, but he made my heart happy this season. The way he conducted himself on the pitch. He's working hard for the team. He's pressing. Like no other. He's just unbelievable, man. That's what he is. You know, and Lamine Yamal, I think he's probably our best player.
Yeah.
For his age, for what he's currently doing, I think his trajectory status, if he continues this way,
If he continues, yes.
he might as well.
But the thing is, what you've seen is with young players, as soon as they break through, the second season is always not as great as their first season, or as the seasons where they broke through and said, "Hey, I'm Lamine Yamal." For me, I feel like Barca needs him. For me personally, I feel like Barca needs him, and with that, he's racking up a lot of minutes at a young age. And you've seen players when he's 22, 23, they have got more miles than players that is in 29, 28
I completely
phase.
understand. It's just a matter of how we look after him, but at the moment we need him. He can't be sitting out games or be resting. Like he's important. He's that
To the
important
way
for
you
us.
play.
Yeah, and at times I think it's difficult. It becomes very difficult, man. But he's so psychologically strong.
Yeah.
I think there's not. I can't say definitely, but seeing how psychologically strong he is, I doubt that he's gonna have any barriers in
Mm.
terms of,
In
you
terms
know,
of his career and
he,
his
he
way forward,
I doubt that, man. He's just
because he's probably the first name on the team sheet when bosses, also with the Spain team as well.
every day of the week, definitely. We're gonna
Definitely.
delve now into the Liverpool squad, and Chad will take us through. What do you think about your goalkeepers at this point?
Currently, I feel like Allison is the undisputed number one keeper in the whole world. I think that man is single-handedly won us games, and he also single-handedly saved us from a demolition PSG.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because when we played PSG, we were hanging on for our lives. Like PSG was coming at us.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that man, it probably had a 10-minute highlight reel in
Nah.
those two legs. He literally just saved us a 5-0, 6-0 slamming from
Yeah,
PSG.
yeah.
And for me, again, the season in the Premier League as well, he's come up with big saves. He's really helped us in securing our second Premier League title. The thing is with the goalkeeper, we also signed the Georgian Mamadashvili
Okay,
from Valencia a season ago, but he's officially joining this season.
okay.
So I assume he will come slot in and be our number two. Killer, love that man.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
man made us feel like we're not missing Alice, we're not missing the best goalkeeper, because
Yes.
whenever he was required, he could step up. Also, not only that, during Killer's time over the past 4 or 5 years, he's been our cup goalie, and we've won Carabao Cups, we've won the FA Cups with him starting in the final, with him starting in the semi-final. Um, and he's basically been there from round one all the way to the end. And for me, whenever he's coming, there wasn't a drop off. There
Yes.
wasn't like, oh, this prize 1-on-1 now. He's gonna score because I don't trust my
Yes,
goalkeeper.
yes, yes.
So for me, Killer, I wish him well because he's officially moving to Brentford.
Okay.
I wish him well. And then we've got a young goalkeeper. We've got two actually. Harvey Davis. I haven't seen much of him, so I can't
Yes,
really
yes.
talk on there. And Yaros, he's coming. We had a red card for Allison, I believe.
Okay.
He's coming for like the last 16, 20 minutes in that
Yeah.
game. It was against Crystal Palace.
Okay.
He looked a bit shaky, but he grew. He grew.
Mm.
Again, that was his only appearance was this whole season. So, one too much for the future, but yeah, he'll probably be another third goalie for
Third
this
goalie.
upcoming season. So, Allison number one, Abadashvili, our new cup goalkeeper,
Mm.
and then Killer, not Killer, Yaros.
Yaros, Yaros, Yaros. Oh,
And
that's
we
good. It's good. And if you look at your centre back options, do you think you need someone to come in to improve the current stock that you are having, or you happy with what's on the books right now?
I think currently we only have like four centre backs:
Mm.
Ibrahim Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Gomez, and Kwanzaa.
Yes, yes, yes.
We have this guy called Gerald Kwanzaa. He's 22 years old, young centre back. He played in Klopp's last season. He played exceptionally well.
Okay.
I thought, okay, we have another Virgil van Dijk region. Um, the season with Slot, he didn't start off well. He came off in the first game of Slot season, off halftime. But then Klopp said, Slot said he wasn't winning enough duels. He was losing all his 50-50 challenges. He looked a bit nervous, he looked a bit shaky, and ever since then, he hasn't really played for us.
Okay.
So he's played the first game of the season because he was playing under Klopp. He was
Okay.
playing week in, week out
Oh, okay.
with Virgil van Dijk.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
Slot also assumed, okay, maybe this guy is the future.
Yes, yes, yes.
But for me, the season is just like he went from, how can I say, like a FIFA rating, like from an 80, he went down to like a 65, 70.
Yes,
That
yes, yes.
that that defender, you're unsure about what you're gonna get.
Yes, yes, yes.
So for me, I do think we need a centre back, because if we lose Virgil van Dijk, then my defense is shaky.
Shaky. Like,
Definitely shaky. So I do think we need another centre back. The thing is with Konate, he's got 1 year left on his deal as well. So we unsure, because there's rumors of Real Madrid coming in for him,
for you, okay.
signing him on a free next season, because they've opened negotiations, but Konate doesn't look like he wants to sign for us. It's still quite early, but he's entering his last year, and we know what Real Madrid likes doing, signing free agents.
Definitely. And Konate is still top quality centre back. I mean,
100%, and
and
he's still
and
quite young. He's still
yeah,
in that 26 years.
if H on his side, definitely. So I think, yeah, you must try to at
Keep him
least
down on
keep
a
him.
new
Yeah,
deal.
definitely. And your fullbacks, what do you think about your fullbacks, your current stock? Obviously, let's touch on Trent quickly. Obviously, homegrown talent, a Liverpool boy, a Scouser,
He's our vice captain as
a
well.
vice captain. He made the move. I thought it was, I, me personally, I thought that was a bit of a dog move that he did. He could have at least let Liverpool make money off him.
He's easily 100 million player.
Definitely, definitely.
He could have given us that funds. He could have said, okay, in his last season, he could have said, okay, look, yeah, I'm definitely not staying. But the thing is, he was so quiet. He didn't want to do any interviews. He didn't want to be seen in the media. Whenever questions were asked, he said, okay, it will be to be continued, basically. And for me, I feel like what he did wasn't a great move.
It wasn't.
I think he did taint his relationship with the fans because he has this mural up in Liverpool.
Mm,
Someone wrote there big in words, rat. I mean, for someone that comes from Liverpool and to have your own mural, I mean, that's every academy's player's dream.
Definitely, he had everything going for him. I mean, he could have been captain in a couple of years of the club, but regardless of that, I think if he allowed Liverpool at least to make money off him, I think it wouldn't have been better. But
Yeah.
people would have understood it a bit. You understand that
Yes.
people wouldn't feel as they feel currently. What you think generally about your stock that your fullback stock at the moment? Seeing that
Well,
Trent left as well.
seeing that Trent left, we did sign Jeremy Frimpong.
Oh, quality,
Quality,
quality, quality,
exciting,
quality, quality, quality.
exciting
He's been
right back.
he's he's been influential, very influential for Leverkusen,
Yes.
in their recent success. So quality. Now that's a proper signing. That's
He played the Nations League last night and he played as a right winger. He played up front.
no
Yeah. With Denzel Dumfries, he was playing a normal right wing back and Jeremy Frimpong was playing in front
in
as a
front.
right winger, which suggests he might, play there because we do have Connor Bradley as well, our
Okay,
youngster that came
okay,
through the
okay,
academy, and
okay,
he's been starting.
okay.
Now that Trent basically announced that he wasn't going to play for us anymore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Slot put him to the bench and put on the youngster. That's someone that wants to play there, someone that wants to fight for the badge.
The badge.
So for me, if push comes to shove, if Salah gets injured, or if Salah's missing for a few games, we would like to rest him. I do feel like Jeremy Frimpong can do a job up in right wing
In the right wing.
instead of right back. Other than that, Andy Robertson, great servant for my club. But I can see his legs are starting to go. He doesn't have that same recovery pace, which he
Mm.
did rely on just to save him out of situations where he might have made the wrong decision in a 50-50.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
pace would have just get him back in position, so for me, I do think we need a left back, which is why we were interested in signing Kirkes from Bournemouth.
Okay.
He looks exciting. He
No,
looks like a proper defender. He looks like a Robertson 2.0 for
no.
me. So I'm excited. I'm hoping we can get him in this upcoming week, and then we'll have like super fast left and right
All right.
backs, which will be exciting.
That would be very exciting, definitely. And the other thing I want to touch on is the midfielders. I see one name in particular here that I
That's
am a
old.
huge fan. Oh, McAllister, I'm a huge fan of him. I like the way he plays and the chant. Yeah, just to sweet it up a bit more. Oh, McAllister, he's the best we've seen from the Argentine. Oh, McAllister. Maradona was good when he was off his meds. Messi was alright till a Tuesday night
Oh
when he
my
played the
goodness.
Reds.
Hey.
Oh, McAllister. I love that guy. I love that guy. What do you say about your midfield stock?
I love my midfield, to be honest with you. I do think Liverpool are interested in signing Florian.
Sorry.
Yeah, it looks like he's
I
coming.
I think when it's coming, it's gonna be over.
It's gonna be over for.
It's over the league. It's gonna be over. It's gonna be over. It's a serious. It's a
Yeah,
baller. It's a ball. I think there's a bracket of players where I enjoy watching them
yeah.
in terms of attacking players, attacking midfield players or midfield players in general. There's him, there's
I have
Pedri. Just a sense of enjoyment
the new watching
of
Florian.
watching them.
Yeah,
Musiala, Fritz, Pedri. There's just a sense of enjoyment seeing them play, basically. And he's a proper player. Florian Fritz is a proper player. I love him. I love him. I love seeing him play.
I'm definitely hoping we can just finalize this last few nitty-gritties
Nutty
out of
gratis.
the deal.
Yeah.
Then he should be coming to Liverpool. But other than that, I'm quite happy with my midfield. The only worry is we don't have a real defensive midfielder.
Okay.
I
Okay.
know Ryan is coming now, Ryan Gravenberch, like
Mm-hmm.
young player of the season. And the thing is, under Klopp, he wasn't seen as a six; he was seen more as an eight,
Okay.
box-to-box
Yes.
midfielder.
Yes. Yes.
But Slot said, "Okay, you're my number six." And my word, this guy is just different.
We took flight.
He took flight. For me, I was thinking, okay, maybe
Mm.
we must sell Gravenberch or keep him on the bench or whatever the case is. But you can see why I'm not in the job. The
Yeah.
Slot, he saw something different in him.
He saw something different.
Definitely. And for me, with Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, basically won us the league
No.
because they've been playing week in and week out for us. The only sad part is I love that player, Harvey Elliott. Oof,
Harvey Elliott.
class. But for
Yeah.
me, it doesn't get enough game time, or it
Okay.
wasn't trusted enough.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we keep him for another season actually,
Okay.
and not let him go. And
He's still
Curtis
young, man. He's
Jones,
still
yeah,
young.
he's still quite young. He's still 22 years old. Still
Mm.
got lots of room to grow. But it's just even in the cup games, he barely gets
No.
minutes. So I don't know. Maybe it might be a trust issue or something.
Yeah. Might be. Yeah. But hopefully in the future, next season
Definitely.
maybe.
But there's been rumors that we might sell him to raise some funds for Florian.
Okay.
Because if Florian comes, he's even further down the
He's
pecking order.
definitely,
You
definitely.
know. And
He
in
could.
terms of the attacking midfielders, I see McAllister, Sabozlai, and then Florian as well, and then Harvey Elliott. I mean,
It is. Yeah. It's
he's
gonna
our
be tight.
last
It's gonna be
for
tight.
that number 10, number
Yes.
8 role that we're looking for.
And what you say about your takers? You know, there's a few here. There's a few here. You know, we got Luis Diaz here, who's a proper player as well. You know, we got Cody Gakpo. I like him as well. We got Federico Chiesa. We got Darwin Nunes, and we got Jota.
With regards to our attackers, I think we need a new number 9.
Okay.
I love Nunes. I
Yes.
love his energy levels. I love what he does to the team, but
Yes. Yes.
he just missed too many chances.
Yes.
And like I said, if we have one or two moments that defines a game, whether you win or you lose, if it drops to Nunes, I know he's missing.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what he's thinking or what is going through his head at that time. Maybe he's thinking too fast or anything. But for me, sometimes I feel like it takes too long to make a decision, and other times he's making too fast a
Yes.
decision.
Yes.
You know, like there's no one pressing him. He has time. He has time to place the ball. Maybe I'll think, okay, where the goalie might go, and then just quickly, rashly, poof,
Yes.
goes wide. And for me, I feel like Jota as well, great player, great finisher, probably the best finisher we have in our attackers.
Jota.
But the problem is he's always injured,
Always injured.
and you can't have a player like that
Yeah,
that
you
you can't
can't.
rely on.
Definitely. Yeah.
He's
Definitely.
been injured most of the season for
Yeah.
us, and for
Definitely.
me, that's why I feel like it's lacking the most. Federico Chiesa is playing behind best player in the league, Mo Salah.
Tough.
Tough,
Tough.
and Mo Salah demands to play 90
Definitely.
minutes every single game.
Definitely.
And the moment you take him on 85, 88 minutes, and man, he's upset. I don't know why. The game's wrapped up, just
Mm.
come race to feet. He doesn't want to get off. That's just the type of
Yeah.
mentality he has.
Anymore. Anymore.
Absolute beast. Better season than you.
Yeah, I completely
That
understand.
that
Yeah.
might have made a bigger impact.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
I understand.
because I mean the Ballon d'Or is an individual award
It's
based
the
on that
individual award.
player
Yes.
and being that player as being the best player in the world.
And I completely understand that part.
So, who do you think might win the Ballon d'Or?
You know, for me personally, it would be Lamine Yamal. No question about it. I don't think there's been anyone that's played better than him. You know, at the later part of the season when it's when you require a player to step up. You know, me personally, he probably doesn't have the numbers that others have, but boy, did he entertain.
Hmm.
He went out and and toyed with everyone. He
Yeah.
was. I saw a quote where Felipe Inzaghi said, we're gonna put 3, 4 players on him. Bastoni said, "This is the best player that I've ever faced."
Yeah.
How he played, and in certain points where he just pitched up and destroyed everyone.
But isn't that your boss hat coming in now?
That's my boss, but I think, uh, you know, there's a lot of people that said as well, you know, Lamine Yamal. I mean, he's a one-off man. He's a
Yeah.
one-off. I mean, for his age to be doing that to players, I mean, that's unbelievable. In the semi-final, he doesn't have a care in the world. That kid,
Mm.
in the classical, he told him to switch, at certain times, and he's just brilliant, man. I can't emphasize enough how brilliant that kid is. I'm lost for words at times, but it's just my opinion regarding who's gonna win. It's him. I think he deserves that award, but I think the player that's gonna win it, I think it's Dembele.
Yeah.
Although he didn't pitch up in the final, you know,
He didn't
well,
pitch up for France the other
he
night.
didn't pitch up for France as well. I think he's gonna win. I think it's
Yeah.
a French award.
Yeah, definitely.
Not award. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, yeah.
sorry. Now, let me rephrase that. The organization is French. So I think
That agenda might be pushed.
it might be pushed definitely. So I think Osman Dembele is gonna win. What's your top five? Your top five players this season? You have to choose your top five.
I would say Mo Salah, Lamine Yamal. I do think Dembele has shown his worth. Also think Mbappe has had a good season.
Definitely.
In a struggling Real Madrid.
Definitely.
Inconsistent. I mean, he was bought to score goals and he scored a hell of a lot of goals.
Definitely. I think he's been slept on, Kylian Mbappe. I don't know for what reason, but he's been slept on. Slept on. I think people have a certain expectancy, and he delivered
He
on
did
that
deliver.
expectancy. I think
I feel like he's carried Rodrigo and Vinicius this season.
Definitely. Since Rodri took that Ballon, I think when he hasn't been the same.
Yeah, he hasn't.
He's been counted. So you say Mo,
Yeah.
Lamine, Osman,
Yeah,
Dembele,
and Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe.
I also feel like influential player, Ryan Gravenberch.
Right, that's your top five. Ballon d'Or top five. My top five will probably be, it will consist of Lamine Yamal,
Yeah,
Rafinha,
yeah,
Pedri,
yeah,
Mo Salah,
yeah.
and I would say this is a tough one actually. This is a real tough one. This is a tough one. I would give it to Lautaro Martinez. That's my top five. That would be my top five.
Even though they didn't show up in the final.
Even though the same with Dembele, I wouldn't even put him in. So I would put Lautaro over him. But yeah, that's my top five. Coutinho had a strong case. He had a strong case. Thank you for this collaboration, my guy. I honestly do appreciate it that you took time out for us to do this. This has been quite some time in the making. It's been years in the making. I met this man. I don't want to give a life story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Jay's channel, to my channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on Big Name Media.
Total Football.
On Total Football. Thank you guys for watching.
See you in the next one.
See you in the next episode.
Okay.
Thank you. Cheers.